Peak has some of the NBA's best players as endorsers. Dwight Howard and Tony Parker both were the basketball models from the brand. While many Americans have never heard of the brand, Peak is one of the more successful Chinese brands. While American brands are still the epitome of cool in Asian markets, the Chinese brands are beginning to fill a void of more cost-effective offerings. The primary reason for the cost being lower than a Nike shoe is because a Nike is considered an import item, although it is probably made in China in some instances. Most shoes are manufactured in Asia, which brings about a question with the introduction of Peak's 3D printed future shoe. Will the movement towards 3D printing in the US for Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, as well as New Balance, be placed in jeopardy by a Chinese 3D printed shoe? Does the ability of any company with access to a 3D printer to print shoes make the Peak release much ado about nothing? Manufacturing is always less expensive in Asia. If China begins to move into the mass production of 3D outsoles at a fraction of the cost of the US, outsoles that could be air freighted into the US for assembly and of course speed, where does 3D printing become more dominant, in the US or China? The idea that 3D printing is about personalization is currently driving interest. Most services that are attached to 3D printing present custom fit as the primary reason for 3D being a disruptor. However, Adidas' Future Eurocraft, not to be confused with Peak's Future 3D shoe, is a general release that is less about personalization and more about speed to market and made in Germany, made in the USA. Peak's success in being the first brand in China to make a 3D shoe at less than $200,000 has to be of interest to all manufacturers. It also brings to mind that Nike's recent patent appears to make more sense than actually leaning too heavy into 3D printing. Then again, 3shoes.com has already realized the movement is really in helping you to get what you want in a more personalized way. This is definitely something to watch as China enters into the fray.